Hey people, it's me again. Anyways, I was also gonna add to my last video on the whole thing with Steven Crowder and what you ought to know is, although I kind of joked around a little bit with someone saying that, well, if there was a proposition that would have forced people like him to be sterilized, and it was passed by that, he would probably think differently if a law that basically was passed that directly affected him and took away his freedom to fuck a girl and all that sort of stuff, or whatever it is, um but apparently I don't know what it is with some of those people like Steven Crowder, or some of them that whether they have some sort of superiority complex. I mean, you know what I mean? What I say, superiority complex. It just means that they're kind of really inferior. They think of themselves as really inferior, and they try to cover that all up by acting all so great and grandiose, and with this whole thought of self-aggrandizement and la-di-da-di-da, and making the other people look bad on purpose, or at least try to make other people look bad, because deep down they don't really have ego or self-esteem or balls to begin with. And I think that's what it is with some of them. It's that they're just worried about, like, all what I said, like somebody that was like gay who could do everything they can do in life and possibly even better. And it goes to a certain extent to, as far as there's a lot of people that I know online who are gay and who are very masculine to the point where you couldn't even tell that they're gay. And then it goes to a point, there are some guys that are on there that they're like so masculine that it goes to a point where a guy like Steven Crowder or What You Gotta Know and any of those other kind of people on there could never achieve that sense of masculinity, even if they took 100% testosterone shots, or whatever it is, to make themselves become completely masculine to that point, and for that, it's kind of a really emasculating thing for them to think that somebody who's gay could be even more masculine than they can be. It just really takes a blow to their ego, but it makes me wonder about people who are insecure in general. Is why can't they just deal with the insecurity the normal way by seeing a shrink or try to build up their own self-esteem the normal way, instead of trying to put others down? That's what I'm kind of worrying about. Or go to this sort of like grandiose, maniacal pursuit of such things, or just to win some acceptance or some sort. I mean, great, now I'm thinking about that. I don't know if you ever really saw that movie Election. That was back in '99 with Reese Witherspoon and Matthew Broderick and Chris Klein. And I think it was Reese Witherspoon's character, Tracy Flick. He was one of those overachievers. One of those people that we know in school that are constantly overachieving and they constantly try to excel in everything, whether it's just to win approval by their peers or by their parents or whatever it is, because deep down they're insecure and they feel miserable. And I think that's what it was with Tracy Flick. And that's kind of what I kind of saw in her, was just being that. Because her mom is a paralegal, is too busy to pay attention to her. And so she kind of does these sort of little things to kind of try to win her approval, as well as trying to win approval of all her peers by doing that. And although she feels completely jealous of Paul, who happens to be popular and rich, and that's Chris Klein's character, if you don't know. And she was like running for ASB president or student body president, and then Mr. McAllister, who is Matthew Broderick's character, convinced Paul to run for student body president. And then Tracy Flick was upset over this because she would have the whole election in the bag. And the fact that she could just manipulate people to her advantage, as well as Mr. McAllister to her advantage, like he did with his best friend, which is his other teacher, I forgot his name, who happened to have an affair the previous year, and his wife left him, and he left school without anybody knowing it. And then what happened, Mr. McAllister ended up having an affair with his best friend's ex-wife, and then as well as sabotaging Tracy's campaign, I think, or at least trying to sabotage his campaign. And great, I can't even remember half of the movie, but you have to see the entire movie to know what I mean by that. So anyways, till next time.